Australia extends the cruise ship ban, and protesters in Key West. Let's get into it right after this. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Alright, Australia has extended the no cruise ship ban for an additional 2 months, extending it out till February the 17th of 2022. Now this is over concerns of the new COVID variant that is currently showing up around the world. Now with Australia though, majority of the cruise lines, they've already canceled all of the cruises in Australia into the first half of 2022. So honestly, this comes as no real big surprise because Australia has not yet even started a restart to cruising plan. There's been nothing put out, nothing discussed. The cruise lines have already said that the government there is not even currently working with them for a restart to cruising. So this delay, to me at least, is honestly no surprise. And they're saying now that at the earliest, at the absolute earliest, maybe May of 2022, possibly we could see some cruising again in Australia. Look, the cruise lines are not going to really do anything until there is a definitive plan to restart cruising, actual dates that they could possibly restart cruising. Because really, until then, they're not going to stand up these ships. They're not going to put crew on board and have them sitting out there doing nothing. So even once Australia says, oh, okay, we can start on this month here, then the cruise ships, we're still looking at the 60 to 90 days for the cruise lines to stand those cruise ships back up. So maybe May of 2022, we'll kind of find out as we get a little bit closer. I know there are people in Australia that are ready to resume cruising, and hopefully that's going to happen for y'all sooner than later. So this last Thursday on December the 9th, the Norwegian Dawn pulled into Key West, Florida, and she was met by some protesters. There were approximately 200 protesters on site, and then there were about 20 or so boats out there in the harbor area with protesters on them as well. From the Safer, Cleaner Ships movement. Now they are there aiming to uphold the laws that Key West passed, limiting cruise ship capacity to 1,500 passengers or less per day. Now we know that law was overturned by Governor DeSantis and the Florida government. However, they aim to continue to try to push those regulations forward through other changes they made there in Key West, but they essentially do not want those large cruise ships there. However, a lot of the businesses there say that they do want those ships there because that's essentially how they make money. They are dependent on that tourism. Now, the Norwegian Dawn docked at the private Pier B terminal there at Key West, carrying approximately 2,200 passengers, which of course is way more than Key West would like to have there. Now, yes, there were protesters. They had signs, no big ships, come back on smaller ships. I could not find any information, though, that there was any kind of confrontation between passengers and protesters, no type of violence or anything like that, simply them protesting the cruise ship itself being how it came into Key West. So, like I said, nothing negative from this. They absolutely have the right to have a peaceful demonstration, not arguing that at all. And like I said, I don't see any information, any reports or anything that they actually interfered with the cruise ship or interfered with the cruise passengers. Nothing like that. I see that it was only a very peaceful protest, and I can't find any information that says anything other than that. So just to make that clear, yes, they were there. Yes, they were protesting for Key West, but I can't find anything negative beyond that. So I'll keep my eye out and see if anything else comes out of that. But I suspect had there been anything like negative, violence, anything like that, confrontations, that would have already made the news somewhere. So I don't suspect we'll have any of that come out of this protest completely peaceful. But yep, so the Norwegian Dawn did meet some protesters there in Key West upon her arrival. And they said they seem pretty determined. They don't want these large cruise ships in there. So this is probably not going to be the last protest that we're going to see. but a lot of the cruise lines too are simply kind of skipping past Key West. They're not really putting it on their itineraries. They're not planning on stopping there a whole lot, probably until the situation gets a little more resolved and some kind of resolution comes out of that to whether they're actually going to be there, allowed there, they're going to be welcomed there, or is it just going to be better for the cruise ships to simply go somewhere else, particularly for some of these larger ones, Royal Caribbean's really large ships, Carnival Cruise Line's new XL class ship. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see how that plays out. It's going to have court battles. It's going to go back to court. There's going to have to be legal decisions. They're going to have to figure out who has the right to make these decisions. And only time is going to tell. All right, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. Have yourself a great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.